to be worn by all pre-K through 12th grade students, staff, and visitors indoors in all district schools and buildings, regardless of their vaccination status. The only exception is for students and staff with medical conditions that impede their ability to wear a mask. As we have said all along, this is very, very fluid, ever-changing situation, particularly with the spread of the Delta variant. While we originally announced our plan to strongly recommend and not require universal indoor masks, the data was very different than it is today. Kent County was at moderate risk, and the positivity rates were hovering around 5%. The cases per 100,000 were about 35. Then on Monday, August 9th, the Kent County Health Department announced that the CDC elevated the risk level from moderate to substantial, with the cases per 100,000 jumping to 52 per 100,000, triggering an elevated risk level to substantial. On Friday, these numbers increased to more than 80 cases per 100,000, and they are well on their way to exceeding 100 cases per 100,000, which would then place Kent County in the red high-risk category. While we are frustrated, there has not been more clear and decisive leadership from the state and county officials like there was a year ago. The health and safety of our students, our staff, and our visitors is a top priority. So we are taking action in advance of the start of the school year and requiring masks indoors for all individuals. Our GRPS new indoor universal masking requirement starts Tuesday, August 17th, and will be revised on or before September 20th, 2021. As Dr. London outlined in his video statement this past Friday, under Michigan's revised school code, public schools have a responsibility to provide for the safety and welfare of pupils while at school or at school-sponsored events. The authority of schools was affirmed by the Michigan Board of Education last week when they approved a resolution that supports local districts making scientifically informed decisions about whether to mandate COVID-19 masks for all students, staff, and visitors. Furthermore, the Grand Rapids Board of Education has a communicable disease policy that outlines the enforcement, including authority to exclude a student from school who is suspected of having a communicable disease and is considered a health threat to the school population as defined by the Michigan Public Health Code. We will continue to work closely with our county health officials throughout this time and monitor the data to determine if it will be extended further. That concludes my statement, and so I will open it up for questions.
The data has obviously taken an unexpected turn for the worse. That's changed the mask policy. Is there a possibility that other protocols may be changed? For instance, should parents be worried about maybe it won't be all in person this year if this trend continues?
Sure, and it will ebb and flow as we've seen the virus. It goes up and down, and so we will try to make our best decisions based on the information that we have at the time. As you know, we are a one-to-one device district, so we are able to make that transition quickly if that were to be the case.
So there's just not a lot of certainty even heading into this year?
I wish there was some certainty, but what this virus has shown that you can expect the unexpected.
We saw a lot of passion from parents on both sides of the argument last week, masks and not for masks. Obviously, this was a very data-driven decision, but would you say that debates also play a role as well?
So I'm trying to make health-related decisions for the well-being of students and staff, and I know that there's a lot of kind of conversation and emails and all sorts of communication that are taking place. This is about getting our school off to a positive school year. We want this to be a safe place for children, a safe place for for our staff and their families. And based on the information that we have, we're showing that we're trending in a place where we can be predictive and say, okay, based on what we're seeing, why aren't we trying to mask to have those extra mitigation efforts? And evidence last year proved that masks did make a difference for our students and for our staff.
Do you feel like you made the call too early 2 weeks ago? I know part of this uncertainty is flip-flopping back and forth even before day one of school. Or do you feel confident that then that was the right call and this is now?
So any decision, and I know that this probably people don't always feel this way. We're looking at data, we're looking at the information from reputable sources. We're in great conversation, with our health department. And at the time, we were at a moderate risk, and we thought, okay, because of where we are, I think it will be okay. We were going to encourage masking, and we still do encourage that, and we're modeling it. All of our team members are wearing it, our board members are wearing it prior to this announcement today. So I don't think that the call was too soon. We went by the information that we had at the time.
And what's the consequence for those students who show up without a mask?
So again, I don't want to start with kind of the disciplinary. I always believe in working with people and figuring out, one, what are the barriers, right? And we'll make sure that we have additional masks and other efforts to support our families, but we don't want to go right to this is the consequence. We want to start from the positive to figure out what are the barriers and how do we work with those families and those students.
Given that you guys are one of the biggest districts, do you feel that others will follow suit? Not only because you guys made this call, but because of the data that you're looking at that also applies to other districts?
And so it would be irresponsible for me to speak for what other district superintendents are doing. I know that everyone takes this very seriously, and they are weighing the information. They have the same information that I do. They're weighing that information. They're looking at what their community needs and making the decisions that best fit their community.
Tyler, what are you expecting going into this school board meeting? Are you expecting to hear from parents who are frustrated?
I think that probably be a real possibility, quite honestly, yes. And again, this has been a very divisive issue. You have seen, whether you're watching on social media or the news, people have as many opinions as there are people. And so, again, we're trying to make the very best decision for the whole of the organization versus looking at what individuals kind of need. We are trying to make a decision for our whole organization, which includes all of our parents and our staff.
If the numbers, let's say, look better around September 20th, when this will be evaluated again, do you think sliding into the strongly recommended but not required kind of rule would maybe go into effect then?
I would say we'll look at it and, again, try to make what the best decision is at the time. I'm learning that I should not be predicting much of anything, and I want to make sure that we're looking at the data that we have at that moment, but we want to make sure that at least we get off to a positive start for our students and for our staff, and then to see what the trends say.
I was going to say, just to clarify, where are you getting the data and numbers from to evaluate?
So we are in close communication with the Kent County Health Department as well as the CDC, and then we also have other metrics that we are using in that we look daily, and then also have weekly conversations with the health department.
Could you remind me when the school year starts?
Tuesday, August 24th, so a week from tomorrow.
Are you excited?
I am really excited. I am. I'm excited to see young people in school. I'm excited to have the norms of school, right, where kids are making friends, they're getting to make different connections, getting to meet different people. And so that's the thing that we're doing this for. It's to make sure that kids have this experience and that it's positive for them versus all the kind of the external noise that sometimes has driven some of these conversations.
Are there going to be mask breaks available for students, for example, when they're sitting in their seats in a classroom?
Sure, and what we've done last year when we were outside, you can certainly, take mask breaks, and some of the things that our teachers have done, always very creative, where they might do a learning walk and talk where they get to go outside and then be able to have mask breaks. And so we'll try to make sure that we fit those in because that is important as well.
Does this also include students participating in sports?
So we are currently following what the guidance is, and so all of our athletes will be expected to wear masks by our district standards, and then we'll also be in conversation with the High School Athletic Association as well.
Okay. Whether it's indoors or outdoor sports?
Yes.
Anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you all. All right. Have a good day, everybody.